I wish I could say this story was an exaggeration, but it's not. I work as a paramedic, and last month I responded to one of the worst calls of my career. It was a stormy Saturday night. Dispatch sent my partner and me to a gated community for a cardiac arrest. Every second counts when someone's heart stops. We were there in under 5 minutes, lights flashing, siren blaring. But when we reached the gate, we hit our first obstacle: the HOA security guard. This guy, let's call him Officer Rick, was wearing a rent-a-cop uniform and a power trip attitude to match. He stepped right in front of the ambulance, waving his flashlight like he was stopping a tank. I rolled down my window and shouted, "We have an active cardiac arrest at 112 Maple Court. Move the gate." He squinted at us like we were aliens. "You're not on the guest list," he said, dead serious. I almost laughed. "We're emergency services. Let us through." Rick said, "I need to call the homeowner to confirm. Can't have strangers just driving in." I'm not proud of what I said next. There was some yelling, some swearing, but people don't have time for HOA protocol when they're dying. I hit the siren again. My partner jumped out to open the gate manually. That's when it all went sideways. Rick drew his department store taser and fired. My partner dropped to the ground, convulsing in the mud. I was frozen for half a second before I jumped out and started yelling for Rick to stop. He screamed back that we were trespassing, and he had authority to detain us. Meanwhile, our patient, a 72-year-old woman named Mrs. Ellison, was inside her home with her daughter performing desperate chest compressions, waiting for help that was literally sitting at the gate. By the time the sheriff's deputies showed up, about 6 minutes later, my partner was conscious but shaking. We finally got through the gate and sprinted to Mrs. Ellison's house. But it was too late. She didn't make it. Turns out Rick had ignored his own training. HOA security is never supposed to obstruct emergency services. It's in the county code and their own HOA charter. He wasn't even licensed to carry a taser. Mrs. Ellison's daughter was devastated and furious. She filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the HOA, its president, and Rick personally. So did our company. The local news picked up the story, and suddenly the entire town knew that the private, exclusive community had blocked life-saving help over a gate code. Rick got fired on the spot. Not that it helps Mrs. Ellison's family. The HOA board tried to claim they never authorized his actions. But emails leaked showing they'd told Rick to strictly control unauthorized access, even if it meant delaying non-residents. Now they're scrambling in court, and residents are furious that their dues are about to cover a giant lawsuit payout. The sheriff's office is pushing for criminal charges against Rick, too. Meanwhile, my partner recovered, but he's got nerve damage in his shoulder. And me? I keep replaying that night in my head, wondering if we could have done something differently, or if the real crime was that we had to beg some neighborhood rent-a-cop for permission to save a life. One thing's certain, that HOA will never look at its gate the same way again, and neither will I.